Now what we're going to do here is we're going to add some drivers to be able to pick up my m.2 NVMEs on Acronis. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a thumb drive with the rescue disk. So we come in here to Tools, then we build a WinPE based boot disk or a thumb drive, and we build it. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a thumb drive that's got Windows on it, and the Windows is packaged into a file called BOOT.WIM in most cases, and that's going to be in the directory sources within the rescue disk. Now when it finishes, what we're going to do is we're going to use two commands from the Windows ADK, which used to be the Windows AIK, and that's a set of tools from Microsoft to be able to distribute, OSs as well as modify OSs. The two commands that we're going to use in the ADK are IMAGEX and DISM. Now you can use DISM for a lot of things. You can look up the options it's got, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to use DISM to update the drivers. We're going to go get the drivers that we need, and you can get that from whatever manufacturer created your PC. In this case it's an Asus, so I've got the drivers, and we're going to install the in this particular case we're going to install the RAID RST package, and you can also install other things that you might need, like the display, graphics, drivers, and whatever. But for this particular problem, we're going to install the RAID drivers to be able to hopefully pick up the m.2 RAID. Now this system here has RAID on SATA, and it's got RAID on m.2 NVMe. But it's picking up the SATA, but it's not detecting the NVMe. So we're going to go ahead and install the drivers and unpackage the boot.wim with IMAGEX and repackage it again with IMAGEX. And after we apply the drivers using DISM. Basically what the DISM is going to look like, it's going to have DISM and it finished. DISM pointing to a directory we're going to create to unpack the boot.wim, and we're going to put in the drivers, and then we're going to repackage it back into the thumb drive. Now here it is right here, and the directory is sources. It's got the boot.wim, and there it is, boot.wim. Now we're going to use the IMAGEX command to unpackage that, and I've already created the folder, and it's on my G drive here, and I just called it WinPE Acronis right there, Asus. And you have to create a directory within that folder called mount. And that's the first thing you do. You create the directory and then add a folder in there called mount. And now we're going to use the IMAGEX, and we're going to unpackage the boot.wim into this mount folder. So we're going to do that in a bit. But that's all you have to do that. You have to install ADK. You have to use the two commands, IMAGEX and DISM. You have to create a directory to unpack the BOOT.WIM. Could be anything, could be whatever. Just create a directory and create a folder inside the directory called mount. So we're gonna now what I've already done is I've already selected the drivers that I need in my ASUS directory, and we're gonna, actually what I did is I built a okay, now the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to start the command prompt with administrative privileges. Now, if this is Windows 11, you can just right-click and pick up the Windows terminal admin, or if it's Windows 10 or whatever, you're going to have to do a right-click on the command and run it as an administrator. Now, in here in my ASUS directory, I've got the text file with the commands that I need, and the drivers. I put in some DISM commands that point to this particular directory, and probably some of the other ones. It's only about 5 commands that I did, but what you have to do is you have to create the DISM command and then point to each one of these directories. If you only have 1 or 2, then just do point or go into the directory that you need to where you have the driver, and do a // and then that takes care of the directory. Now, when you have a directory with multiple drivers underneath, you use a /recurse command or option. And in a bit, we're going to see, we're going to do, I guess in this particular case, we're going to do each one individually just by copying and pasting the command. But you could just run, make it into a bat file and run all of them, or maybe just go into the text file and do a Control A and pick up all the commands and just paste them into your terminal, your command terminal. So let's see where the file is. Let's see. Geez. I think I called it. I don't know, WIMP Acronis command or something like that. Okay, where is it? What is that thing? It's probably a better thing to just make a folder and put everything you need in there. There it is. Okay, so in here you can see that is the command you need. You need a DISM pointing to the directory that's got the BOOT.WIM, and there we go. What I did right there is I used the IMAGEX command to put all the files from the BOOT.WIM into mount. So I don't think that thing was I wonder how that happened. Was it an administrative? Okay. There you go. So there it is. It's unpacking it's a BOOT.WIM into the folder on the G drive, and it takes about a minute to unpack it. And in a moment, we're going to go check and see what it did in the mount directory. So it looks like it unpacked it. So we're going to do the reverse when we finish, but let's go see over here what it did to the mount directory. Let's see, where's that folder? Oh, there it is. Okay, so here, see, those are the files that were unpacked in BOOT.WIM. And now we can just use DISM to add the drivers. So we'll just do a cut and paste of the command, and basically you point to the mount directory, and then you just do an add drivers, and then driver, then colon slash in the directory. So there's a command, and it points to the image, points to the mount directory. So and then add driver, and then slash driver, and then the directory, and then a slash recurse, backslash recurse. And I like to put the semicolon around the drive as a habit, but you don't absolutely have to. So here we go. There, it added the drivers that were in that folder. So just go ahead and do the second one. Again, you could do this in a batch mode, or just cut and paste all of it and just put it in the Windows terminal over here. And then hit return, and we're going to add some more drivers. So there it added 2 INF files that were in there. And that's how you add drivers. You have to have an INF file. And in some cases, you don't have an INF file because now they're packaging them with a setup.exe, and so you can't see them. So what you have to do is you have to go into the Windows System 32 driver store and get the INFs from there, and it'll work just as well. But just in case you don't have INF files for some of these, and like I said, some of them don't have any. So, okay, when we're done, get the last one in here. Yeah. Then we'll repackage it back into BOOT.WIM. So, let's see. Okay, now this I'm pointing at the IMAGEX directory here that has the mount. So we do a commit, and it puts it back in there. So I think I should have made the screen bigger so that you could actually see the commands. Now what we're going to do is we're going to restart it. And we're going to change the boot here. Okay, so we're going to change the boot selection here, and we're going to change it to the USB Pony, and we're going to exit. This mouse is really acting funny here. Okay, save the changes, and let's boot up. And what this is, we're just going to go through and show you what it is before you add the drivers. And the thing is that one of the drives on this is a m.2, and that's the one it's not recognizing. It recognizes a SATA RAID, but the m.2 NVMe RAID it does not pick up. Now this is the WIMP Acronis. Now the drives on this system here, it picks up the SATA RAID, which is disk 1, and it picks up my backup disk, which is disk 2 here, and the thumb drive. But it does not show the NVMe m.2. Also, if you look at the screen here, you can't see the bottom. Now, if you come down, see where the arrow is, there's something there and there's something here, and you don't know what it is. So that's not good. So we're changing the drivers, and hopefully it's going to pick them up. So let's go ahead and reboot. And we're going to make sure that we're still connected over here in the right boot order. So let's check. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, so that's the previous one. No, see how it changes it back? Dirty rat. Okay, so we changed it back. I wonder how to do that on the BIOS where it still picks it up. Anyway, let's reboot and let's see what happened with all the drivers we added. And hopefully this time it's going to see that NVMe m.2. Well, let's see. Go through the same little process with that new thumb drive. I need a faster PC, but you know, for the moment, this is what we got right now. It's pretty fast. Probably would be faster if I put the Windows on the NVMe. But first, I got to make sure that I can back it up. So it's no use if you can't back it up. Now let's see what happened with the new drivers. So now we go back into the disks, and we got the first drive, and look at that. Here's the SSD. Okay, so updating the drivers fixed our problem. See, now the same thing. You got the SATA, you got the NVMe. So now it's possible to put the Windows on an NVMe and be able to back it up and restore it. Now backing it up, you know, you can back it up with the Windows, you know, by going into Windows, but you can't get this on the Rescue. Just boot it up. So this is what we just fixed. So we're all set. Anyway, that's how you add drivers to your Rescue disks or your BOOT.WIMs for whatever reason. In this case, Acronis. You know, I had to add the drivers to be able to pick up this SSD, which is an m.2. And maybe you have something else, you know, that on some other backup system or whatever. But that's how you add drivers to your BOOT.WIMs for
Acronis, for Ghost, you know, backup system, or some of the other ones. Hopefully, it's going to help you.